guys, it's Ahmer here, and I decided to do something a little bit different. So as I'm going for a full Super Nintendo set and a full Japanese Nintendo 64 exclusive set of games, I thought it was time, since I scored this amazing GameCube / Nintendo 64 KB Toys original store display cabinet, I thought that I'd fill it with the complete set of Nintendo GameCube games. So here I am announcing that I'm starting my journey of going for a full North American set of these awesome GameCube games. So I printed out my list of 550 plus games here. I went through and I highlighted quite a bit. Now I have not totaled them up just yet at the start of this video, but I added quite a few when I went out to Warp Zone. This is an amazing video game store in Pennsylvania. So if you're ever near Warp Zone, you have to go there. You pretty much travel back in time seeing all of these awesome games, and it is one of the most organized, most neat stores that I've been into, where I've seen some really cool items, some awesome displays, some really cool behind the scenes tours of different things there, and they have an entire section of arcade one-ups that you can actually play. So they have tons of these free play games, but I went through and I went shopping for some GameCube games. Let's go ahead and check these games out. So first up, they had this in one of their showcases. We have Guist. Now, I thought that this was an extremely interesting game because you get to take possession of people and animals and other things in this game. But pretty much you have this weird sci-fi first-person shooter game. It does have a mature rating, so I thought that that was pretty interesting on a Nintendo console. So you have these new powers, and you get to reunite with your body. At least you're trying to do that because you're this soul, and you just have to go around as this soul. You get to move a lot quicker and possess your enemies. Now you have to fight back, and as soon as you possess your enemies, you want to pretty much take out some of the other people, and you get to possess animals and other creatures for their abilities. I thought that this was a rather interesting game. Definitely one that's pretty scary and pretty interesting all at the same time. Something definitely a lot different, and something that I want to dive into a little bit more. So even though I just kind of skimmed the surface of this game, it's one that I want to see what happens next. I want to see where the storyline goes and see all of the dark nature that's behind this particular game. And then I saw this game and I thought it was pretty interesting because you have this weird style to the characters. This is called Freaky Flyers. Now this is your typical kart racing, but instead of karts, you're actually flying around. So you have these airplanes, so it's a plane racer. You have these different characters with their different stories. So their backstories are pretty much what make them interesting. And they're all over the top, really extreme. And it's the humor in this game that definitely stands out. So just like your typical kart racers, you have those power-ups. And you just have these different challenges as you're going through the game. Now you have to avoid these crashes, and it makes it pretty challenging as you're flying instead of racing like a car. So it is a little bit difficult to get used to, but it's still pretty fun. And there are some mini games in here for your skills. So overall, this is a lot of fun, and it's definitely even more fun with the multiplayer action. But just given this whole design, this whole different take on this game, I'm really excited to play this with some of my friends and kind of see how this game really holds up. So if you guys are enjoying this content, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification because you don't want to miss out. I'm going for a full North American GameCube set, and I can't wait to share all of my awesome scores, finds, and just amazing items that I find along the way. So of course, stay tuned for that. And then on to this Lara Croft Tomb Raider Legend game. This is one that I remember from back in the day, and they brought this whole series back. This is one that I really enjoyed playing, and I just love how they changed it up. So the controls were super easy. I just remember exploring a lot of the tombs and the whole grappling hook. You get to solve different puzzles. The combat was great. It is pretty easy. You can lock on to the different enemies. And I just love this game because you get to learn about Lara Croft's past. So this was really a great time. And it's one that I remember, especially from my days playing back in the day. And this is one that I'll have to jump back into and see if I remember it being as good as it actually was. So we'll have to see on that, but I do remember really positive things about this game, and I'm happy to have it back in the collection. And then this game was a lot different, but it was pretty inexpensive. Here we have Transworld Surf Next Wave. So this one has like these sharks that you have to watch out for. I remember something about, if you go out of bounds, you get penalized, so the shark comes at you. But pretty much this so far, from what I've actually tested with it, is that it is pretty challenging to pick up the controls. But I could see how this would be an interesting time, especially if you love surfing. So this is one that is much different than any type of game that I've ever played. Has this whole different style, but the surfing looks pretty good. The music was pretty good as well. And it just took a lot of time to adjust to, but I'm still intrigued and curious about how this game plays, and I'm curious to see anything more about it. And then this was another cheap game. This one, of course, is after the movie. So here we have Disney Pixar Monsters, Inc. This is Scream Arena. Now this one's much different than what I remember in the movie. So they did something completely different. Instead of going after, like scaring children, you have to make them laugh. Having learned the power of laughter, the monsters of Monstropolis have created a new training game to help them practice making kids laugh. So pretty much you're playing like endless games of dodgeball. So there's tons of different arenas. You have like 13 different characters, but you just play dodgeball, and I could see how this would be a really fun game, especially back in the day, and then playing with a lot of other people. But this one is just pretty repetitive nowadays, but I'm curious to know if you remember playing this game and you actually enjoyed it back in the day. Did you play with any of your family or friends? I just want to know in the comments below. So the GameCube is one that I'm pretty nostalgic for because I love this system. This is one that I actually purchased with my own money back in the day, and I was so thrilled to go to the store, pick out a GameCube, pick out Mario Kart Double Dash, and just have a blast playing through a lot of these GameCube games. And I'm really excited to go through this list here and just try and cross off or highlight as many as I can. So Warp Zone in Pennsylvania, I had a blast at. I went behind the scenes, picked out some games, found some amazing titles in the showcase. They had so many like rare games that I had not seen before, and just some weird and neat odds and ends throughout the entire store. But make sure you guys stay tuned because I do have a pickups video of some Super Nintendo games that I also scored there. So I can't wait to share those with you guys, and I'm just excited to one day go back to that store and see all of the awesome items that they get in, because it looks like they get in tons of quality. And I'm just really thrilled because it was such a blast going there. Everyone is super nice, super friendly, so supportive, and they really hooked me up with all of these GameCube and even Super Nintendo games that I added into my personal collection. So I'm overall just so thankful, and you guys really need to check out that place. So of course, let me know which game you remember from back in the day, which ones you'd like to try out, and which games going for this full set here do I need to pick up now before anything crazy happens. Let me know in the comments below, and of course, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go ahead and check out all of my other videos and stay tuned for more.